Alright, good morning students. So today we will learn about random module and datetime modules. So random module, as you know, the word random itself means something that does not follow a sequence, right? So something unexpected value, randomly generated, right? So random is a very important module. Why? Because you will be generating hash keys while you do the data analysis. You will generate some hash keys in order to identify unique or repeating rows of data. That is one. And second use case is if you want to do anomaly detection, if you want to highlight which are the ones that are coming repeatedly over a period of time, frequency of time, you will have to use a unique identifier wherein which you will have to generate a hash key. So there also you will make use of random random module. Okay, so let's get started. So with random module there are lots of functions. Okay, and we will see only the most important ones and most relevant ones. See, there are so many: beta variate, etc., variable variate. Okay, so a lot of them are there, but we will see only the ones that are required for data science. To start with the simplest ones, so I will show you something called rand int. Okay, now this rand int, so if you specify a start value or end value, it will generate a number randomly between those values. If you execute again, you will get 0, execute again, you will get 1, execute again, you will get 2. That way randomly it will generate between those values. Okay, so that is rand int. Int means integer, it will generate only integers. And then you have simultaneous, very similarly you have random itself. Okay, now this random is known to generate a float value. So just add a use a random, it will generate randomly a float value between, notice the values between zeros and ones. Okay, um, float value between 0 and 1. Okay, so the rand int will generate only int value between specified start value and end value. So that is rand int and then random. And then likewise we also have something called, okay, choice. Okay, so from random import choice. Now choice, um, let's just say you have, let's just say you already have a list of values. Okay, 1 2 9 11 13 or something like hello, it could be anything, right? So um, and then you have python, something like this. So if you have this and if you apply a choice to it, choice means it will try to get some choice randomly. See, choice means if you wanna get a random value from a already existing list or a sequence type, then you can use choice. Okay, so random will generate float value, random will generate int value, and choice will generate a random value from what you have already provided randomly. Okay, and then likewise we also have something called sample. Okay, from random import sample. Okay, so the way sample works is, let's just say you have a list. Okay, so let's just say you have hi or ha, or let's just say something something like this. Okay, if you want to do a sample of laughs and you want to tell how many sample do you need out of this sample is going to be helpful. Okay, um, this sample you are going to use to generate, to work on your training data in your data analysis. Okay, while model doing machine learning. So remember this, sample is used to randomly take values from already existing list or data or a data frame, whatever it is. So to randomly select certain values, if you specify 2, it will give you some randomly 2. Again execute, again execute, the values will change, again execute, the values will change, again execute, the values will change. Okay, randomness while training the data, training the model is extremely important. Okay, there we will make use of sample. So just remember, again reiterating, random will generate a integer number, random will generate a float value, choice will allow you to select one value out of list, sample will allow you to select multiple values. Okay, here I should say get multiple random values from a list or a data frame. Okay, so that is the use of sample. Next we have from random import rand range. Okay, random range. Okay, now for random range, what you can do is you can specify, let's just say I have a loop for I in range of 3. Okay, now in this 3 I wanna get within a certain range, I wanna get 3 different values. Let's just say I'm specifying from 0 to 100. If I want to get 100, I'll have to specify 101 because n plus 1 index value has to be provided. Okay, so if I print 3 different random values, I can get. Okay, so again if I execute, again I can get 3. If you specify 5 values, you can get 5 values. Okay, so if you don't want this for loop also, then also it's fine, because then it will generate only one value between start value, end value, and the step size that you have specified. But if you want to generate multiple values, multiple random values, then you can specify this. Okay, whatever the for loop is, um, you want to pass, you can pass, it will randomly generate the values. Okay, um, so this is about rand range, randomly generating certain range of values. The next one is we have from random import uniform. Okay, now uniform is little different in a sense that uniform you're generating float values only, but notice the drawback of the random, it will generate the values only between 1 and 0. Okay, if you want to generate a float value between some other range, okay, between range, so now you can do that. If you want to specify some 100 also, you can specify whatever it is, it will randomly generate a float value. Okay, that is the difference between random and uniform. Is this clear? Up until this point, are these clear?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
Pradeep.
next is very important, of all the random functions, this is what is the most important, I would say. From random import seed. Okay, this seed, okay, notice the use of seed. Let's just say I will set the random dot seed, or I will set the seed as, okay, 5, and in next cell I will set the seed as 6. Okay, so here I will what I will do is I will try to generate a rand range. I can actually use make use of uniform also. Let's try with uniform. Okay, or let's try with range first. Rand range. Okay, rand range of 0 to 5 values I will generate. Okay, here also I will generate rand range, and before this also without seed I will generate the rand range. You notice what is the rand range value? Rand range is supposed to generate randomly the values. Let me increase the value. Let's just say 50. Between 0 and 50, it is supposed to get me a value. That is the rand range. That is what we just saw above. We added a for loop just to get 10 values, but ultimately It can just generate one value when you provide a rand range without a loop. But when I set this seed as 5, okay, watch what is happening. No matter how many times I execute, it will generate the same value. If I change the seed, watch what happens. It actually generated the 4 value randomly. Okay, but every time I set the seed, it will continue to give the same result. Now this concept is extremely important. Why? Because first what you will do is, while selecting the training data, while building your machine learning model, you will choose the data randomly, not this random. uh, where is that function? Not random. Okay, fine. So randomly you will select the data. You don't have that function yet. I think I didn't. Yeah, sample. I'm sorry. So using the sample, you will select the data randomly. That is your step one. And after choosing the data randomly, you will set a seed. Okay. While training the model, you will set the seed in, so that if the model that I built with randomly chosen data and the result that I have obtained, if I want to replicate it in front of other stakeholders, other colleagues, or other managers, other senior management, I will have to have the same results that I got in my experimentation. You understanding? Are you following me? So that is why you set a seed while doing your experimentation, and you provide the same seed value, this value. If I set the seed, usually people prefer randomly setting 42. If you refer the code on Kaggle, you will see seed 42 is set randomly. That's just a randomly chosen number. You can choose any seed, 1, 2, 3, 100,000, whatever you want, you can choose. But once you choose and set that seed, you will have to provide that same seed to your colleagues so that they can get the same results. Is this clear?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Next, moving on in the random module. So we have another set of functions. From random import something called get state and
Can
set
it have
state.
can it have zero or negative value seed?
Sure, I believe so. Okay. Okay, doesn't matter what your seed value is, just provide a number here. It will, according to that seed value, it will store the random range. And that here I have shown random range, but ideally for your machine learning problem you will be using sample, because sample is what you selected, did the model randomly, right? Selected the data. But I am showing random range to explain you the concept, but you will be doing the sample to select the data randomly. Is that clear?
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank
Okay, all right. Next thing is get state and set state. Now see, one thing is, seed is fixed, so the result will always be same, correct? But let's just say you don't want a specific number to be set. Let's just say you don't want the seed value to be set by manually. Okay, that is when you can, let's just say you save the state with get state. Okay, and then you try to get the rand range of 0 comma 50. First you say get the state, okay, and then you set the state, get the state, and then set the state rand range of 0 comma 50. Let me print these values. Print of values. Okay, so when you did notice this last two results, but also notice this get state. So when you did a get state, you save that get state in save state, same as seed only, but the difference is you're not specifying a value. Even that value is being chosen, okay, uh, randomly. Okay, so that randomly chosen value is saved in save state, which is just a variable. Okay, and when you try to generate the value, you get the 36 value. And when you set the state, first you get the state and then you try to set the state, then also you got the same value. So basically, instead of passing seed of value, some value that you have manually defined, you are asking the random module itself to generate that value and pass it to the set state, so that you get the same result both the times. But when you do, once you set the state, the values no longer are held. That's why you are getting the random value. Is this clear? Do you want me to explain once again? Anybody?
No, no.
You're able to understand?
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right. Yeah, thank you. So next thing in random is generating a random password. Okay, generating a random password. Now this is very important. Okay, why? Is because you never know what kind of use case you will get. Machine learning use case, what problem you will get, you don't know. If you get any problem where you will have to generate some values randomly, you will have to know how to do that. So let's just say import a random. Okay, now I want to, in my password, I want to have, first I want to have punctuations also to make the password unique. Okay, and then I also want to have ASCII letters. Okay, I also want to have digits. Okay, so that I am importing. Now what I'm gonna do is, let my symbol, or let my some variable I have taken, let my password consist of ASCII letters that I have chosen here. Okay, and by the way, you can, if you want to check what are those ASCII letters, that also you can check. Okay, okay, these are all the so let me, so these are the ASCII letters. Okay, small a to capital A. So that way you can do a help of all this, you will get it what you were talking about. So if you want to do help of punctuation, you can see these are all the punctuations that we are going to use in our password. Okay, so first I want to use ASCII letter. Okay, then I want to use a digits. Okay, then I want to use punctuation. This is going to be my password. Now I have to come up with a way to randomly shuffle these. Okay, if I select this, randomly shuffle, we already know that way mechanism. You see, if you have everything in a list, you can randomly choose anything, right? You can choose one at a time and then you can join them. Okay, that is what we are gonna do. So what we are gonna do is, so we have something called, we are gonna choose a random state. Okay, random state is, um, this is just a variable. Random state means, so in random module there is something called random dot system random. Okay, this system random will allow us to alternate the random numbers. Okay, basically the way how I want to generate password is, I don't want this password to be in this sequence. I don't want always to start with letters, then numbers, then punctuation. Instead, my password should shuffle between one of these three. So that is what is enabled by system random. System random will help in alternating the generator. So basically it will alternate between ASCII, digit and punctuation. If first time it starts with the punctuation, then second time it will start with ASCII letter, third time it will start with digit. That way it will keep on shuffling. Okay, so that is what I'm gonna set. So this is my secure random, and the password that I'm gonna set, is, first I will take this secure random, okay, whatever I have defined it, then I will apply a choice to it. From choice should be such that it should pick only one at a time from the symbol which is defined above. Okay, let me run this first. It's not populating. Okay, yeah, so it is going to randomly choose either ASCII letter or digit or punctuation. Okay, and I want to define how much of length I want. Okay, each time it's gonna choose only one letter, right? So it consists of all the small letters. Okay, let me, maybe I should show this and explain. Help of punctuation. Okay, okay, so randomly what I'm saying is, randomly at any given time it is going to choose one of those punctuations or one of these letters or one of these digits. Randomly it's going to choose. That is what our choice enables us to do, right? Choice is going to pick either this or this or this or this or this. That way randomly it will pick one at a time. So we want it to pick 10 times so that the length of the password becomes 10. And in a sense that not only are we trying to select one of these at a time, but also we are saying that we want it to apply system random. So such that if it chooses one from punctuation the first time, the next set of password should be chosen from either the number or the letter, that way. Okay, so finally after it selects, let me show you this first, what this generates. Okay, so it's a generator object, but if I apply a list to it just to show you what it has generated, see, it has taken symbols randomly. Okay, if I execute once again and list it, then it has separate, it has generated something else. There are no digits here, by the way. uh, so now you got a digit, you got a special symbol, you got letters. Okay, randomly basically it is coming up with a password. So if you notice, okay, dash dash some exclamation something, so it is coming up with that. Now I don't want this to be in a list. Instead I want it to be joined joined as a complete string. Okay, let me try now. So let me, if I add a password directly, there you go. So if I run it again you will get a password, randomly generated password. So password at the end of the day is just your alphabets, numbers and special symbols, right? So no matter how many times I run, this is how your password generators work. So additional rules can also be applied to mitigate how many times you want the letters, how many times, that way also can be done. But just for now, just don't want to increase the complexity, you can use this instead. Okay, now if you want to, like I said, if you want to add the complexity, that also I will show you. Okay, so I can, let's modify a little bit so that it, maybe it will improve your concept understanding. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add certain additional rules. I'm gonna say, okay, I don't want you to use, okay, upper letters, lowercase. That way I will modify. What I want you to do is instead is, okay, use only letters and digits, don't want exclamation symbols, just for the sake of showing you how to manipulate. Okay, so I'm adding a loop. So here I'm generating password is equal to dot join of choice of alphabet, which I have already defined, and length for I in range of length you can specify as 10. Okay, now after you generated the password, you can add conditions saying if you can add a complete condition saying, okay, if we have something called any I will explain you, but for now just think of any as, okay, let me show you that also. 1 2 3 4 5, if you type any of, okay fine, int object is not iterable, you need a iterable. Okay, so if you choose any of these, okay, what it is trying to evaluate is whether one of these numbers holds the true value. Okay, if I make convert this entire number as, okay, because it's a string, that's why it's trying to evaluate. Okay, anyway, but if I make it empty string which is a false value, so it will evaluate as false, but any other string other than empty string will be evaluated as true value. That is what we have learned in logical or. Think of this any as logical or. Okay, it's I think the closest way to explain this is it's kind of a logical or. Now what I'm saying here is, of all the choices that I have provided, okay, c dot, okay, c I already want to call as alphabet a pointer pointing to the choice of whatever the password is. I wanna say extract. See, it has already generated the password. Out of that, what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to extract the small letters basically. And I'm on top of this condition I'm adding. You can select lowercase alphabets. You can select uppercase alphabets. Okay, for C in password. And top of this, you also have to select the ease digits. Sum of ease digits means the combination of all those numbers is what is being selected. If the number is greater than or equal to 3, only then you select all of these is what I am saying. So yeah, I'll explain you once again. See, this has generated the password. Okay, this we already know. If I type like this, we already have seen this, except for the secure random, everything else is same here from what we have seen. So it will generate a random password. Okay, out of that password I'm saying, okay, I want to exclude the uh, exclude some things based on these conditions. First thing is I want to choose all the lowercase letters. Second thing is I want to choose all the uppercase letters. I want to choose all the digits if they are greater than 3. Just to show you, I mean not necessarily 3 or 4, just to show you the um, condition, I mean how you can do this. Okay, so if I execute, you got the password. So you got the password basis on these conditions applied. You will have in your password, you will always have at least 3 numbers no matter how many times you generate. Okay, so now here also you have 3, at least 3 you have, greater than or equal to 3. You have lowercase letters, you have uppercase letters. So this way you can customize your passwords to meet certain criteria. So if you want to have a longer password, let's just say 12, and also want to include a special this is punctuation, but only 2 punctuations, that also you can add here. Okay, c dot I mean you can include the punctuation here, and you can utilize punctuation is punctuation thing. Okay, so that also you can add. So that way you can have your own customized passwords. Is this clear?
Yes.
Okay, all right. However, there is one problem. Okay, so up until this point, what we have learned, there is one.
Sadik,
Uh,
uh, sorry to interrupt you. C is denoted for?
C is just a alpha
Very good.
variable. C
Okay.
is a iterator. For you can write I
Yes, yes.
also. I for
Okay.
I in password.
Okay. Okay.
You will get the same thing. It's just a iterator. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And see, up until this point, whatever we have learned, okay, there is this is all excellent. So we will be using this in our data analysis. But there is one teeny tiny problem. The problem is that this random password, this random module that you have used should not be used for cryptography. Okay, this is what they found. The researchers found that there is a problem in system random. The way system random works, this system random, ideally it chooses, it is supposed to randomly choose one of these, right? But what it does is it can be traced back. Now how that can be traced back, you can google more on that front, and you can get to know how that works. But they found that it can be traced back. Hence they came up with something else called secrets. So for utilizing this system random with choice, they came up with something else called a complete new module called secrets. Okay, so this secrets is what we will see, especially if you want to generate passwords. You have to make use of secrets only for generation of passwords. Okay, everything else you can use random. So let me show you the use of secrets. I'm gonna import the string because I'll be using the um, same ASCII letters. Okay, same ASCII letters plus digits. Okay, this is going to be my alphabet. Now what I'm saying is my password has to be the same exact thing that we did. Join of, okay, choice of alphabet for I in range of 10. Okay, this is what we did previously, but the only change is I will say don't use the random choice but instead use the secrets choice. Okay, that is the difference. Now I will add a password. Did I miss something? Okay. Now whatever the password that I'm getting is truly random in nature. It can't be traced back. um, okay, so this you remember, if you want to generate a hash key, or if you want to generate um, some password or cryptography related tasks, you have to make use of secret. Don't use a random choice but use secrets choice. Is this clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So that's all about secrets as well as random. uh, Pretty much end of random module. Okay, so let me, if you have any questions you can ask. I will stop the recording.